In the heart of Japan, nestled between serene hills and vineyards stretching under a clear, starry sky, lies a city known for its samurai history, vibrant festivals, and even as the birthplace of Sailor Moon's creator. But beyond its cultural pride, Kofu, the capital of Yamanashi Prefecture, harbors one of the most compelling and well-documented UFO encounters in modern history. Today, on Alien Cases, you'll hear the true story of an incident that shook families, baffled teachers, drew in scientists, and still echoes through the decades as one of Japan's most credible extraterrestrial sightings, the Kofu incident, which took place on February 23, 1975. Get ready, because what two young boys saw that night and everything that followed defies human understanding. Before diving into the event, it's worth understanding the setting. Kofu is a city surrounded by mountains, famous for its Shingenko Matsuri, a historical festival honoring the legendary warlord Takeda Shingen. With nearly 200,000 residents today, in 1975 it was still largely rural. Simple homes, expansive vineyards, and a close-knit community where silence ruled the nights, only broken by a gust of wind or the distant bark of a dog. But that night, the sounds and sights came from somewhere far stranger. It was late afternoon on February 23rd. Masato Koyama and Katsuhiro Yamahata, both 7 years old, were playing near a housing complex. At around 6:30 p.m., they began walking home for dinner. The sky was cloudless, but something unusual drew their attention. Two bright orange lights glowing in the sky. One was larger than the other. The way they moved, silently, unpredictably, ruled out any aircraft or helicopter. They seemed alive, gliding through the air in ways no human technology could. Fascinated and slightly frightened, the boys watched as one light flew off toward Mount Otago. The other, it began to descend, and then it landed in a vineyard nearby. The object, described as a metallic flying disc with 3 spherical landing legs, emitted a sound later compared to a Geiger counter, dry, mechanical, and constant. Panicked, the boys ran and hid behind grave markers in a nearby cemetery. But curiosity quickly overpowered fear. Slowly, they approached the strange object once more. They circled the craft, observing every detail. It was about 13 to 16 feet in diameter and 8 feet high. The surface gleamed, highly polished like chrome. On its sides were glowing blue windows, and a rotating dome on top that stopped spinning once it landed. Even more intriguing, the boys noticed mysterious inscriptions, some resembling Japanese characters, and others written in what appeared to be the Latin alphabet. Then a hatch opened, and a staircase unfolded to the ground. Peering inside, the boys saw something out of a science fiction movie. Buttons, flashing lights, panels, and machines. Technology far beyond their understanding. And then, something stepped out. From within the craft emerged a humanoid being, about 4 feet 3 inches tall, with broad shoulders, dark brown wrinkled skin, and a large bald head. Its face was creased with deep lines, obscuring its eyes and nose. It had 3 sharp metallic teeth protruding from its mouth. Its pointed ears resembled those of a goblin. Its arms were long, with 4-fingered hands, and its legs were bowed with 2 toes on each foot. It wore a silver suit covering its entire body except the hands, and carried a shiny object over its shoulder, something the boys thought looked like a trumpet or a rifle, possibly a weapon. The creature didn't appear to notice the boys. It stepped out of the craft and began to wander the vineyard, as if inspecting the area. Masato and Katsuhiro, hidden on opposite sides of the ship, watched in awe. But then, something happened that would terrify them both. Suddenly, one of the boys felt a tap on his shoulder. Expecting it to be his friend, he turned and came face to face with the creature. It attempted to communicate, producing a sound that would haunt the child forever, like a cassette tape being rewound rapidly. Metallic, distorted, and incomprehensible. Terrified, the boy pretended to faint, keeping his eyes slightly open to watch the being's reaction. Masato, watching from a distance, was too frightened to move. Eventually, the creature walked away. Masato ran to help his friend, lifted him up, and the two sprinted away as fast as they could. As they looked back one last time, they saw another creature inside the ship, seated at what appeared to be the control panel, watching them. Their families had already grown worried due to their late return. But when the boys arrived, shaking, crying, unable to form full sentences, it was clear something was wrong. At first, the parents thought it might have been a robbery or a near abduction. But once the boys calmed down and shared what they saw, the adults were stunned. Initially, they thought it was a made-up story to avoid punishment. But something in the boys' eyes, raw fear, made them reconsider. The mothers decided to retrace the boys' steps to the vineyard. As they approached the area, they too saw a pulsating orange light hovering among the vines. From about 300 feet away, they saw a shiny, spinning object, flashing light every few seconds. One of the mothers attempted to get closer, but the boys stopped her. Terrified the aliens might take her, another family member ran to get help. Some reports say the rest of the family even arrived armed, but by the time they returned, the object had vanished. Not flown away, simply disappeared, as if it had become invisible. The next day, the boys were still frightened. Their mothers had to walk them to school. Once there, they told their story to classmates. It spread like wildfire. Another student, 8 years old, came forward and said that while riding home in his parents' car the night before, he had seen a strange light in the sky near the vineyard. The teachers, skeptical at first, separated the two boys and had them repeat the story individually. What they discovered shocked them. The details were identical, without contradictions. The boys also drew pictures, and the drawings matched almost perfectly. As the story gained attention, teachers and journalists visited the vineyard. What they found supported the boys' claims. Heavy support beams, used for grapevines, were broken and crushed, as if something massive had landed. Circular impressions in the ground, believed to be landing gear marks. Broken wires and a strange gray powder covering the soil. Days later, a professor from the Yamanashi Prefectural Technical College measured abnormally high radiation at the site. Artificial in nature, not natural background radiation. The case went national. More people came forward with similar sightings. A custodian at a nearby environmental center said dogs began barking wildly around 6:30 p.m. Looking outside, he saw a strange orange light in the sky. A high-ranking Buddhist priest, respected in the community, said he too saw an object zigzagging in the sky that night before vanishing. In 1982, a woman named Sato, an insurance salesperson, shared her story on television. On the same night, she saw two short, dark figures by the roadside. Thinking they were children, she slowed her car and honked. But as she got closer, she saw they weren't human. Sato described them as about 4 feet 4 inches tall, with wrinkled faces and visible eyes, and she believed they had hair. She did not notice metallic teeth, which differed from the boy's account. Frightened, she drove away. She said she didn't tell anyone for years. Her husband warned her people would call her crazy. It was only after persistent encouragement from friends and family that she finally spoke out. The boys grew up. In 2001, both men, then 33 years old, agreed to undergo hypnotic regression for a TV program. Under hypnosis, they recounted the exact same story, unchanged, detailed, consistent with everything they had said as children. To this day, the Kofu incident remains one of the most credible UFO encounters in Japanese history. In 2025, for the 50th anniversary, the city of Kofu celebrated the event with public festivals, alien-themed costumes, exhibitions, and official recognition of February 23rd as Kofu UFO Day. Each year, locals gather to honor the night when two boys, just out for a walk, may have witnessed something not of this world. So, what really happened on that February night in 1975? Was it all an elaborate story? Mass hallucination? Or did two children truly become eyewitnesses to beings from another planet? What's certain is this: even after 50 years, no one has successfully debunked the case. The evidence is there. The witnesses are real. The story remains unchanged. And above all, the mystery endures. So tell us, do you believe Masato and Katsuhiro saw something otherworldly? Let us know in the comments, like the video, share it with fellow mystery seekers.